Hello once more, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, back here on YouTube, doing the second prediction video for the preseason for the 2023 NFL Prediction video series. Today we're predicting the NFC predictions for 2023 as I predict the top 7 teams that will make the postseason in the NFC of the 7 seeds that we have. Starting out with our number 1 seed, I think that's going to be returning the defending NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts, as the Eagles return to the playoffs, I think, in 2023, this time around as the number 1 seed for a second straight year. Last year, after going to the Super Bowl and losing to Kansas City, the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, I'm sure, have plans to go back to the postseason and maybe even win a Super Bowl. We'll have to wait and see, because they have some tough opponents to go up against. The Eagles, I think, are going to be a good team if Jalen Hurts comes back. He has so many weapons on offense. A.J. Brown returns, Devonta Smith, former Heisman Trophy winner, and more that on offense. They did subtract one of the running backs, Miles Sanders, who went to the Panthers. Unfortunately, they subtracted him, which, unfortunately, for the Eagles' sake, I'm sure they're going to be just fine as a team. And they should make the playoffs in 2023. Their defense is so good as well. Their defense is returning plenty of starters. This team is not going to have too many issues to win their division, and shouldn't have too many issues being a number 1 seed. The only team that might stand in their way a bit is Dallas and New York. Unfortunately, Dallas, wait till you guys hear where I have them. I thought Dallas would make the playoffs last year. They were one of the 4 teams I predicted to make the playoffs. The Buccaneers, Cowboys, the 49ers, of course, all I thought would make the playoffs. Got 4 teams out of the NFC last year. We'll see how good I am this year. But I'm putting the Eagles at number 1 for now. Brings up our number 2 team in NFC. The San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy, if he can stay healthy for the 49ers at quarterback. And 49ers just traded Trey Lance because Sam Darnold won the backup quarterback job out west in San Francisco. 49ers should be pretty good. Christian McCaffrey, running back. George Kittle, tight end, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Top 2 tight ends, him and Travis Kelce. And the 49ers have a lot of Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver. Deebo Samuel should be pretty good coming back. 49ers, questions I have about their team is, how good can this team be? Can they match up with the Eagles and play the Eagles good? I think we might have a scenario that we had last year where the 49ers make the playoffs and make it the NFC title game in Philadelphia. If everyone remembers a few years back when the Bengals won the AFC over the Chiefs, and then last year the Chiefs won the AFC and won the Super Bowl, I think we might have the same scenario with the 49ers and Eagles this time around. When the 49ers have to go to Philadelphia and they actually want to go to the Super Bowl, I can see that scenario potentially happening because the 49ers are good. Depends how good Brock Purdy can stay healthy and not get hurt this year. I think the 49ers are in good hands. I don't want to see Sam Darnold at their quarterback because if he comes in, it means Purdy's hurt. And he just traded Trey Lance, who he drafted like 2nd overall in the draft a few years back. So the 49ers, they lose Brock Purdy, they're in trouble, but I think they'll be just fine and make it as a number 2 team. Seed. Which moves us to the number 3 seed, which is a surprise that I'm picking this team. They brought in Baker Mayfield at quarterback. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do I actually see this happening and the Buccaneers as a 3 seed? Yes, for now. They did lose in the playoffs last year with Tom Brady as their starting quarterback to the Cowboys. But the 49ers, the Buccaneers, are going to be just fine with Baker Mayfield. Can he actually lead the team to the NFC South Division title? A team that finished 8-9 last year with Tom Brady. Can they do it again? If they finish 8-9, they're going to finish as a number 4 seed. I think they're going to be much higher than that. Maybe finish with 9 to 10 wins this year. I think the 3 and 4 seeds in the NFC will be division winners with less than 10 wins, or right about 10 wins. The Buccaneers are one of those 2 teams, the first team, I think, that will do that with Baker Mayfield. I think the Buccaneers, there's so many questions I have about this team. I think they're going to be just fine, though. If Baker Mayfield can play good, it means he can play good. Well, if he does good, it means we won't see Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask, the backup. I think the only reason we see him is that Baker Mayfield is benched and Kyle Trask leads into the playoffs instead. A second-year guy out of Florida, or in his third year out of Florida. That'd be surprising if he comes in and leads them to the playoffs. We'll have to see what happens with the Buccaneers. I think they'll be just fine, though, on offense. Followed up by that, our number 4 seed, surprisingly, is the Detroit Lions in my mind. And Jared Goff. The Lions, one of these teams, surprised, is where I think they finished right about the same area where the Buccaneers are with 9 to 10 wins. Maybe just under 9, maybe just under 10. And they're number 4 seed only because I think they're going to find it out with the Vikings and Kirk Cousins this year. Put at 4 seed in the NFC, both out of the NFC North. Jordan Love and the Packers. Jordan Love needs some building years in Green Bay. Jared Goff, he's been in the playoffs before. Took the Rams to the Super Bowl fears back. The Lions, though, they're going to have some tough scenarios. The first game they open up against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Last time Mahomes and Goff met up in the regular season was back in 2018 when the Rams and Chiefs had a shootout in LA, which was a game that was originally scheduled to be in Mexico City. Both teams played well. The Lions did win by did win. There was over 100 points. The Rams didn't win that game, but there was over 100 points. I think Jared Goff will use that experience that he can use to play in the playoffs with the Rams and bring that into 2023 for once. That's the only reason I think the Lions win at the NFC North, unfortunately. That's why I think they're number 4 stand at the moment. Which brings us to the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. Now, the Vikings, the only reason I think they're going to be number 5, the first wildcard team, I think they're going to be just fine. They do have to play the Lions. It could be a scenario where the Lions and Vikings both have to play, but we'll have to use a tiebreaker to decide who gets the number 4 seed in this NFC this year, I think. Kirk Cousins, I'm not sure. He's not the best quarterback, but last year he took the Vikings to the playoffs. And the Vikings, even though they lost in the postseason last year, I think the Vikings, they'll be just fine. Offense is pretty good. They have KJ Osborne coming back. They have running backs that should be good, tight ends that should be good. The defense, I think, is going to be the biggest concern for this team. And so is Kirk Cousins, I think. The question is, can he lead the Vikings and be elite? And I think that's why they get a number 5 seed. They're going to fight it out with the Lions, though. And the Packers, of course. I think it's going to be a 3-team race. Bears, unfortunately, Bears have the offensive line issues. If the Bears make the playoffs, that'd be crazy. Moving on to our number 6 seed in the NFC. The Dallas Cowboys. This team, last time we saw them in the playoffs, last year playing the 49ers in the divisional round. Last play of their season last year, Ezekiel Elliott, the running back for the Cowboys, was playing center, snapped the ball to his quarterback, Dak Prescott. That would fortunately be Ezekiel Elliott's last plays of the Cowboys. He is now in New England with the Patriots. Cowboys, though, the reason I think they make it in this year is a number 6. They're not going to have a lot of wins. I think the Cowboys might be one of these teams in the NFC that only gets in because they play well and because they survive against other teams. The bottom 2 wildcard teams in the NFC, I think, this year, and the Cowboys and the team I'm going to talk about next, there's going to be so many things to look at for these teams. You need to dissect how good can they be. Cowboys, I think, the only reason they get a 6 seed is because they finish behind the Eagles and they finish behind everyone else in front of them. Unfortunately, they're going to be like 8 and 9 maybe. It might be a team under 500. Bottom 2 teams, I think, might both make it under 500, surprisingly. Then the AFC is much more talented than the NFC, I think, going into 2023. So that's why the Cowboys are the 6, because I see them failing to make it above 500. Just like the last one I'm going to talk about. I don't know why I'm picking this team. I think because Derek Carr left Las Vegas to go to this team. The New Orleans Saints. And one other reason I'm thinking Derek Carr can go into New Orleans and right the ship. He did it in Vegas where he made the playoffs a few years back. And I think he'll do it again with the first year of a new team. A team that might help him out get to the postseason. And might finish under 500, though, unfortunately. Because the NFC South last year was one of the worst divisions in football. If this happens again, the Saints might be one of these teams that finishes under 500. It was a debate who was going to pick. I was thinking about Giants or the Seahawks this position, but I think the Saints might be a little better because Derek Carr is going to be there, and he might turn this team around. And same you could say for Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers. 2 new quarterbacks joining the division, that's going to be tough. Bryce Young goes to Carolina, a team that didn't make the playoffs, and they finished in second last year. Saints are a team that finished in last place. Derek Carr, I think, though, will find a way to get the job done with the Saints in 2023. There's going to be so many things to talk about with the NFC this year that you might have 2 or 3 teams, bottom 2 teams. The Cowboys and Saints, who I think might be the bottom 2 teams, might both finish under 500 in the postseason and make it both to the playoffs this year. So that's where I have the NFC sitting with the 7 teams. As I see it again, Eagles, 49ers, Buccaneers, Lions, Vikings, Cowboys, and Saints. That order. If you like today's video, comment below who you think is going to make it out of the NFC by the postseason this year in 2023. How accurate am I? We'll have to wait and see through the 18 weeks. Coming up, don't forget, next week on Tuesday, we're back with our Week 1 NFL predictions. And you know what to do. Please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same if they have not done so yet already. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when I have fun in a new video. And with that being said, have a nice day and stay safe. And I will see you next video. Bye for now. Peace out.